Well, the president has said he has a zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration. Excuse me. This president has said he has a zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration. And yes, as Americans, we feel for anybody that's crossing the border because we know this is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. However, this is a nation of laws. And so I say to those parents and to those children, if you do not want to be separated, do not cross the border illegally. Follow our laws, follow the process. That's the best way to ensure that your family stays together.
Okay, so, get this. In a jaw-dropping showdown, Tomi Lahren, the no-nonsense conservative firebrand, has found herself under fire from a woke Democrat crusader over, you guessed it, immigration policies. On live TV, things got really intense as they clashed over the heavily debated topic of border security and family separations. I mean, seriously, folks, it's the kind of debate that keeps us on the edge of our seats, right? This woke individual boldly challenged Tomi's unwavering stance, accusing the policies she supports as heartless and claiming they defy international laws. But you know what? Tomi didn't back down, and, well, she had some strong words of her own. Hey, if you find these debates as thrilling as I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of February, and your support would totally make my day. Stick around so you never miss a moment of these incredible face-offs. So, let's dive deeper into this heated showdown between Tomi Lahren and her opponent. Honestly, folks, when it comes to immigration, it's a topic that just won't quit. And, well, it shouldn't, because at the core, it's about keeping our country safe while balancing compassion. Now, Tomi's main argument revolved around the need to uphold the law. If you're familiar with her, you know she firmly believes that illegal immigration should have zero tolerance. She stressed over and over again that, as Americans, we need to respect the law to maintain order. Tomi pointed out the chaos that ensues when laws are disregarded, painting a picture where illegal border crossing is just an open invitation to mayhem. And oh boy, you should have seen her opponent's face. They argued that seeking asylum isn't illegal, insisting it's a legitimate path provided by law.
Are you trying to tell me that every single person that's going to the border that's separated from their families, they're all seeking asylum? None of those are illegal immigrants that are trying to come into this country and then live within the shadows and take advantage of our American system?
Okay, Chris, the question is very simple.
All of these people are seeking asylum, really.
Chris, you know as well as I and Tomi know, not all of them are seeking asylum. Come on, let's not kid each other. Now, for those who come across illegally, wait, let me finish the question. For those who are coming across illegally and not seeking asylum, some of whom have already been deported, who are bringing children, the law is the same as it was when Barack Obama was president and Bush was president. So the president has not changed anything. In fact, this president offered the Democrats the opportunity to keep the some of the DACA kids here, 1.8 million of them, and the Dems wouldn't go with it. You're just trying to make the president look bad.
No, this is the president. No, the president is treating people who are sneaking under a fence the same as people who are coming to a door, Tomi. They're treating them the same, and that is not right.
And they accuse the current administration of breaking international law and even disregarding moral values by separating families. It's intense when you think about it, claiming the policies violate something like, Matthew 25 for those familiar with the Bible.
Important because I know that you and many on your side of the aisle talk a lot about compassion, and I agree with you. We need to show compassion as a Christian. I believe in that as well. But where is the compassion for American citizens? Where is the compassion for legal immigrants living in this country that expect the rule of law to be followed and expect border security and border enforcement? Where's the compassion for those individuals? Does that not exist? Because President Trump is going to make sure it exists. That's why we elected him.
Tomi, that you do unto the least of them, you do unto Christ.
Oh, Chris.
And we know what's happening at the border right now.
We're talking about the law right now.
It is an abomination.
What's an abomination? Every time a judge sentences some parents to jail, is that an abomination? Is that an abomination? They make a choice. Since when are people not responsible for their own actions and their own behavior? When do you bring children across a border illegally?
They are presenting...
Oh, don't give me this 100%. You know it, and I know it's not 100%,
asylum.
Chris.
They are not criminals. They are not doing anything illegal.
Are they breaking the law coming here? Chris, are they breaking the law coming here? Go ahead, Tomi. Let Tomi talk now.
It's quite the loaded argument. But here's where Tomi fired back, really highlighting her point. Even if the border crossers claim to seek asylum, many exploit this process. I mean, it's almost like a loophole, right? Tomi noted that everyone should come into our country legally, using the proper channels. And let me tell you, she sure did mention how previous administrations, including Obama's and Bush's, dealt with similar issues. So she challenged the claim that the current president is, implementing anything new or unprecedented. The debate seriously covered everything from security measures to the real intentions of these immigrants. Tomi argued that, while compassion is important, no one's denying that, it shouldn't override our security needs. Imagine this, an open-door policy without any vetting? Tomi alerted viewers that such a scenario would be absurdly reckless. Now get this, the woke Dem on the opposing side seemed to have a different vision. They described a world where America opens its arms. I mean, like, they envisioned the US as a sanctuary for all. While this dream might sound noble and all, Tomi brought to light how unrealistic and potentially dangerous it could be. The nation already faces numerous domestic challenges, right? From healthcare to education and even security. Then, it got even spicier. The discussion took a turn when the Dems suggested that some immigrants bring children with them as protective shields. Naturally, that got a reaction from Tomi, who just couldn't hold back, pointing out the incentive structure that encourages illegal crossings. Imagine, like, what does it say about our laws if they can be manipulated so easily? She asked. We also can't ignore the humanitarian angle, which Tomi acknowledged, like no doubt about it. She assured everyone that she and, many others on her side do have empathy. But she insisted that security should come first. After all, border chaos only opens doors to crime and, well, economic burdens. And then, folks, it was almost like the big fireworks show when Tomi brought up the idea that every undocumented immigrant could be a potential threat. She asked, what if people had hostile intentions? The woke individual saw this as fear-mongering, claiming it branded asylum seekers unjustly, painting them all with the same brush. But Tomi shot back at the woke narrative, emphasizing, and rightly so, that the nation deserves protection. She stood her ground, believing firm procedures and clear-cut boundaries were absolutely necessary to keep America secure. I mean, who can argue with that? The conversation also veered into the responsibilities of maintaining the immigration policies strategically. Tomi said that relaxed attitudes only multiplied the risks. According to her, just because someone has a compelling story doesn't mean laws should be relaxed. It's a complicated mix, and Tomi's goal was to make sure it didn't become chaotic by trying to enforce rules without room for constant exceptions. The dialogue just continued with both sides trying to pin down what exactly compassionate enforcement looks like. Tomi pointed out the stark realities we face if borders remain oversaturated, strained resources, overworked systems, and, an overwhelmed support network. And, at the end of the day, Tomi's cool-headed resolve and logical sense had her viewers nodding along, echoing her beliefs. She articulated a firm but kind framework around which immigration should be addressed, one where law and order matter just as much as empathy. But hey folks, now that you've heard all this, what do you think? Whose side are you leaning towards? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious, was there a particular point in this debate that really stuck with you? Let's continue the conversation.